I'm going to start off by putting my 6-inch wooden embroidery hoop down just to make sure that my fabric is the right size. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my stabilizer. I'm using Embellish Fusible Dissolvable Tearaway. Just make sure you cut a little bit bigger than your actual fabric, and we're going to want to fuse this on here very well so that the stabilizer does not come off in the end. And then I'm going to go ahead and hoop that together. And pro tip, these are the foil colors I'm using. If you want to keep them closed, just use a piece of embroidery perfection tape, but I'm using copper and gold for the applique portion of this little project. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hoop into my machine. I already have the crazy plant lady design pulled up on my machine, and we are going to start embroidering. So make sure you lay down a piece of topper. The first thing it's going to embroider is the top of the cactus. I always have scrap pieces of topper lying around, so I just kind of pick through my pile, which actually works out great because I have a ton of really small pieces, perfect for this design. So go ahead and lay down your topper. I'm using Embellish matte threads for the whole project. Now this design is also digitized for 60 weight threads if you want to use flawless threads or metallic threads as well. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the hoop, and I'm just going to rip off the topper. Just make sure you get it around the whole area of it. You don't have to get in those little corners yet. Then I'm going to go ahead and lay down my satin stitch for the applique, and you could have waited until now to rip the topper off. So I'm taking my embroidery perfection tape, and I am taking a little scrap piece of this gold color foil. You're going to want to make sure it is separated from the clear carrier sheet. Don't throw that sheet away. We're going to use it later. Lay down your foil, make sure it covers the little stitch that we just stitched out to show us as a guide where it's going to embroider over it. And I am using this embroidery perfection tape to just help this foil stay in place. You don't want it sliding around. Make sure you're not taping over where it's going to sew. So go ahead and embroider that. It's just going to put a nice little border stitch around that whole thing. I'm using my handy dandy applique scissors throughout this process. I wanted to just highlight them. They're super adorable. If you missed my unboxing video, I will link that above and below in a little info card. Once that is done stitching out, you can see it's just going to do a thick little outline thing of there. This is the best part. You're going to unhoop it, and you are going to remove the tape. This is why I love using the foil. You're going to see in just a second. It is so freaking fun to do what I'm just about to do. Now, because the needle perforated the foil when we were stitching, you can just rip off the foil. It's so much fun. It's so satisfying. So we're going to continue, do our next satin stitch. I'm going in with the foil in copper, and I'm going to go ahead and again separate that from my clear carrier sheet. You can use any scrap pieces or cut off a new piece. Just make sure you weed them away from each other. Save the carrier sheet. Go ahead and lay your foil down again. Tape over it. You know the drill. We just did this. You're going to embroider over it again. Take that tape off, and wham and bam, it's done. So fun, so satisfying. I freaking love it. So once we're done with the two foils, we are using our clear carrier sheet. You're going to iron using a low temperature. It's very important to use a low temperature and just kind of heat set this heat transfer foil because it is set by heat in this case. So iron it very gently with that clear carrier sheet, and it's just going to be set, and it's not going to slide around in there or ever come off in the future. So I'm going to continue embroidering the design. I have the little plant pot legs here, or plant stand, or whatever you want to call it, and make sure you're using tiny little pieces of topper as you go. I am using iron away topper because if I ever wash this design, I don't want to use the rinse away topper because it could come out of the whole design. So I'm just using iron away topper. You're going to continue stitching. We're stitching a little bird up here. You can't really tell, but I do have a tiny little piece of topper on there. I love that this project really helps to reuse your samples and your little extras that you might throw away. So pro tip, save all of your topper. Don't ever throw it away, especially when you have a larger design and there's a lot of topper you rip away from it. Keep it. I put it in a little basket next to my machine. So once that's all done, I'm going to rip off the excess topper, go in with my little applique scissors, give it a little trim. Then we're going to take it off the hoop, and I'm just laying this 6-inch wooden embroidery hoop over it to see where I want to center it. go ahead and take it apart. You can adjust the knob to make it looser, and we're going to snap those in together and tighten it. Now you can see we have a lot of excess fabric, so just go ahead and trim. I would recommend leaving about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, probably about 1 inch around the whole thing, and you'll see why in just a minute. Once you are done trimming it, I'm going to go in with my hot glue gun and just section by section, because the hot glue will dry fast, I'm going to go ahead and put hot glue on the inside of the wooden hoop on the back and then just fold over the fabric and the stabilizer together. This is just going to hide any raw edges, and because I'm hanging this on a wall, I didn't feel the need to cover the back of it. I did a similar video around Christmas time showing you how you can cover the back of it with dimensional embroidery foam, so I'll link that below. But here's our finished design. It's so cute, I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in next week's video.